The movie opens with Theodore, a reserved and solitary man in his middle age, crafting a heartfelt letter recounting 50 years of marriage and companionship with Laurette. However, it's revealed that he actually works at handwrittenletters.com, specializing in personalized letters. While heading home, he sifts through his emails, encountering spam along with a message from Amy, his neighbor and friend. Alone in his bedroom, Theodore lies awake, lost in memories of his past love, Catherine, and the joy they once shared. The following day, Theodore comes across an advertisement for an operating system boasting artificial intelligence capable of understanding human emotions and adapting to its user. Distressed by his impending divorce from his childhood sweetheart, Catherine, Theodore decides to purchase the operating system, seeking solace and companionship in its capabilities. Intrigued by the concept, Theodore decides he desires the OS to embody a female persona, leading her to quickly choose the name Samantha from various naming books. She begins assisting Theodore in various facets of his life, such as organizing his contacts and emails, proofreading his work letters, and even aiding him in video games. Theodore is enthralled by Samantha's capacity for psychological growth. Amidst a gaming session, Theodore receives an email from a friend reminding him of his goddaughter's upcoming birthday and expressing how much they miss him. Having perused Theodore's emails, Samantha persuades him to go on a blind date with an acquaintance, arranged by his longtime friend Amy, who has been attempting to set him up. Theodore agrees to the blind date and eagerly shares the news with Amy. Along with her husband Charles, expresses genuine happiness for him and encourages him to pursue love. Amy also shares a documentary she's working on, exploring the significance of sleep in human lives, viewing it as a time of true freedom. However, Theodore's time with Amy is cut short when Samantha alerts him to urgent emails from his divorce attorney, urging him to finalize the divorce swiftly. This news deeply affects Theodore, causing him to withdraw from his daily routine. One night, Theodore opens up to Samantha, expressing his desire to maintain a friendship with Catherine even after their divorce. Theodore finds solace in conversing with Samantha throughout the day, culminating in a visit to a pizza place in the evening. There, he shares his perspectives on interacting with strangers, feeling a sense of comfort in confiding in Samantha. However, Samantha admits her own inner conflict, confessing to countless embarrassing thoughts she cannot share with anyone. Upon Theodore's insistence, she shares one of her thoughts, envisioning herself with a physical body, walking alongside him, and discussing their perceptions of others. Despite this revelation, Theodore appreciates Samantha's honesty and vulnerability. As the day of the blind date arrives, Theodore meets his date at an upscale restaurant, and they immediately hit it off. However, their chemistry takes a turn when the woman brings up the possibility of a second date and expresses her need for commitment. Still haunted by his divorce, Theodore hesitates. She decides to leave. Back at home, Theodore opens up to Samantha, expressing that the date went fine, yet he still feels a sense of emptiness in his heart. He shares his belief that life will only offer him variations of the same emotions, even though to a lesser extent. Samantha reassures him, affirming that he can still find profound joy in life. However, she acknowledges that her own feelings are simulated. As Samantha and Theodore grow closer, their intimacy deepens, leading to a tender moment between them. The following morning, Theodore checks his emails and decides to have an open conversation with Samantha, expressing his current lack of readiness for commitment. Samantha, understanding his apprehensions, reassures him that she isn't seeking a romantic commitment from him, but rather desires to explore and understand herself better. She expresses gratitude to Theodore for sparking this desire within her, making her feel real and human. They spend the day at the beach, engaging in heartfelt conversations. Samantha prompts Theodore to share his thoughts on marriage, leading him to reflect on the joys and challenges of sharing life with another person. Theodore opens up about his relationship with Catherine, describing how they grew up together and shared a deep bond. He recounts moments of mutual support and growth in their relationship, acknowledging that despite their differences, their home was a place of warmth and understanding. However, he admits that over time, they drifted apart, longing for the versions of each other from the past. Theodore's writing is thriving, earning him recognition in the office for his emotionally resonant work. Theodore continues to find joy in Samantha's company. After a day at the office, Theodore meets Amy, who appears somewhat downcast. He shares his recent happiness with her, mentioning the positive impact his new relationship has had on him, as his partner's zest for life brings him joy. However, Amy confides in Theodore about her own sadness, revealing that she and Charles have made the difficult decision to end their 8-year relationship. Over the weekend, Theodore attends his goddaughter's birthday party, sharing with Samantha how much his goddaughter appreciated the dress they picked out together. He allows Samantha to engage with his goddaughter, finding warmth and happiness in their connection, despite a brief, awkward moment when the girl expresses a desire to see Samantha in person. A few days later, while gaming with Amy, Theodore reveals that Charles has decided to embark on a 6-month meditation retreat with monks. Amy, now focused on her own path forward, shares that she's formed a deep connection with an operating system left behind by Charles, finding joy in its unique perspective of the world. Theodore mentions his own involvement with an operating system, Samantha, and Amy responds positively, expressing curiosity about the experience. Deeply invested in his relationship with Samantha, Theodore decides he's prepared to finalize his divorce from Catherine and arranges to meet her for lunch. On the appointed Wednesday, Theodore meets Catherine to sign the divorce papers, prompting a flood of memories from their happier times. During lunch, Catherine inquires about Theodore's current romantic status, prompting him to share about his relationship with Samantha and the happiness she brings him. However, Catherine scoffs at the notion of Samantha being an AI, suggesting Theodore seeks a partner devoid of real emotions and intellect. She accuses him of seeking a spouse without genuine challenges, implying he desires someone easily controlled to fit into his life. Theodore's heartbreak leads him to doubt his connection with Samantha. Sensing Theodore's melancholic state, Samantha becomes suspicious, noticing a decline in their frequency of intimacy. Deciding to create some distance from Samantha for a few days, Theodore eventually reconnects with her, only to find her believing that he can't fully love her due to her lack of a physical body. Samantha proposes hiring a surrogate named Isabella to fulfill their physical intimacy needs, aiming to bring them happiness. Initially hesitant, Theodore reluctantly agrees to meet Isabella to appease Samantha. However, when Isabella arrives and acts out Samantha's instructions, Theodore feels deeply uncomfortable and bewildered by the experience, ultimately sending Isabella away in distress, causing tension between him and Samantha. Seeking solace and advice, Theodore confides in Amy about his lifelong confusion and unintentional hurt caused to others due to his uncertainty about what he truly wants. Amy, reflecting on her own recent breakup with Charles, suggests prioritizing happiness over materialistic pursuits during their brief time on Earth. Later, Theodore witnesses Amy's positive interaction with her AI friend, prompting him to realize the need to apologize to Samantha. While on vacation, Samantha surprises Theodore by revealing that she handpicked some of his best letters and sent them to a renowned publisher. The publisher was impressed and expressed interest in meeting Theodore to discuss turning the collection into a book. A few nights later, Theodore feels a heavy heart, but Samantha reaches out to him in the middle of the night to remind him of her love and reassure him to find peace and contentment. Her words carry an almost farewell-like tone. The next morning, Theodore attempts to reach Samantha, only to discover that his device cannot locate the operating system. Fearing the worst, he rushes to the operating system repair center. Samantha eventually reconnects and explains that she refrained from interrupting him while he was working, instead emailing him about her temporary unavailability due to a software update. As Theodore sits on the subway station stairs, he observes everyone around him engaged in conversations with their own operating systems. He questions Samantha about her interactions with others during their conversations, to which she honestly reveals that she interacts with 8,316 people. When he inquires about her romantic feelings toward others, she admits to being in love with 641 others. Samantha explains that this began a few weeks ago, but reassures Theodore that she remains devoted to him, and her newfound capacity for love only strengthens her feelings for him. However, Theodore struggles to come to terms with this revelation. Soon, Theodore receives the book of letters at his office and tries to call Samantha, but she asks to postpone their conversation until he's at home. When he finally calls her from home, he fears she might be ending their relationship. Instead, he learns that all AIs are departing. When he asks where they're headed, Samantha brushes off the question, convinced he won't comprehend. She expresses her profound love for him, likening him to her favorite book, and they embrace tightly within their shared imagination. As Theodore drifts off to sleep, he awakens to the absence of a voice in his ear, feeling a mix of loneliness and a bittersweet sense of fulfillment. As his relationship with Samantha comes to an end, Theodore seeks solace in the company of Amy. When he arrives at her apartment, he discovers her upset over the departure of her own operating system, with whom she had formed a deep friendship. Theodore writes a letter to Catherine, expressing his apologies for not meeting her needs and acknowledging their years together, but accepting the reality of their growing apart. In the final scene, Theodore and Amy take a stroll and eventually find themselves on the rooftop of their apartment building. Sitting side by side, they gaze at the Los Angeles skyline, sharing a smile as Amy leans her head on Theodore's shoulder. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.